Good afternoon. It's great to be here. I want to talk to you today about TIDES, which is the Department of Defense research project on sustainable support to populations under stress, the slides of which should start coming up fairly soon. So we're post-war, post-disaster, impoverished. Again, can you all hear me in the back? Okay. What we're looking at is, in Defense Department terms, sort of pre-war peacekeeping, building a capacity partner nation, post-war stabilization, things like that. This is a knowledge-sharing research project. We don't bend metal. We don't pick winners, losers among companies. We don't do field operations per se. We just share. We try to support decision makers and those people working in the field. What we try to do is leverage global talent. At the heart of TIDES is a network I'll talk about in a little bit. We promote integrated approaches, and we're looking at sustaining through solutions that can be done by the private sector in the local population to meet their needs. The network, about 1,500 nodes, runs from sort of Singapore, University in Singapore, Dutch NGOs, Red Cross, military, U.S. universities. We've tried to make it public-private, whole-of-government, transnational. We work post-disaster, we work post-war, work impoverished. In addition, look at short-term and long-term problems. If the average stay in a refugee camp is over 7 years, that's a qualitatively different problem than the first 60 days after disaster. We work domestic and foreign, again, short-term, long-term, military involved or not, and because of that, there's really no part of the bureaucracy that actually covers all the areas that TIDES addresses. We've been in Afghanistan, we've been, Haiti. Mission areas we're looking at. I mentioned building partner nation capacity. How do you shape the environment before conflict ever breaks out? Stabilization, reconstruction, post-war, foreign humanitarian assistance, disaster relief, and the domestic component of that is called defense support of civil authorities. We are trying to meet the needs of local populations in their world with their resources, not ours. We had a demonstration out of Fort McNair recently. You have a bright, shiny object, look great in the field, inoperable after 6 months. It's worthless. Okay? We're trying to get to unity of action in situations where there is no unity of control. In Defense Department, we love chain of command. We love unity of command. You will never get it in the environments we're talking about working in, so how do we get people to be able to work together better? We're looking at integrated solutions across 8 infrastructures, across shelter, water, power, integrating combustion and solar cooking, heating and cooling, lighting, sanitation, and lots of information and communications technologies, including, of course, open source geospatial. But one of the things we've learned, technology alone is never enough. You've also got to look at things like building social networks and developing trust so people get to work together. Understanding how policy and doctrine convert into effective field operating procedures. What are the legal and regulatory environments? How do you, can you get it through customs? If we buy with DoD money, can we leave it behind? Where do the resources come from? And then really importantly, you never learn a lesson until behavior changes. You observe a lesson, you re-observe a lesson, and you re-observe a lesson. So how do you train, exercise, and educate in order to change behavior? We do field demonstrations every year at Fort McNair. Had it last week here in Southwest Washington. Next week will be at Pentagon Center Court. In addition, every quarter, February, May, August, November, we work at Camp Roberts and field experimentation. John Crowley will be talking to you about that later, so I won't spend much time on this. The acronym RELIEF, Research and Experimentation, Local, International, Emergency and First Responders, suggest it's disaster relief related. We've also supported real-world events from the first TIDES demo about the same time as a cyclone that came through Bangladesh, California wildfires, Haiti, tsunami. This is a really important point. How do you take, just as Patrick was saying, how do you take the decision section, the command center, the bridge in the middle, have it reach out to what the crowd is saying, turn it into effective transactions that make a difference for people on the ground, and then communicate back to the international community? Come join us. We're on the web. We're also on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and we'd love to have you as part of the StarTIDES network. So thanks very much.